and just threw it all away in a matter of minutes.
So we'll be picking Dire will be banning first and picking the first hero.
Earth
They
Spirit.
banned their Spirit Respect ban. That's
Yeah,
cool.
the Earth Spirit played really well. And Invoker ban, no surprise. I mean, that hero, he did get nerfed like 2 days ago, but 3 days ago.
Yeah,
But still, very strong.
it's not a huge nerf. It's just some armor, one armor base.
A little bit of attack speed and then a higher,
Yeah.
slightly higher mana cost on Deafening Blast. Hmm. Maybe Finest ban Ember, but not phase 1, probably phase 2. I mean, he played well. And actually, they ban out the Wisp. I mean, that's just... I understand Wisp being a very strong hero. But if used properly, the hero is really good, especially with coordination. But it actually looks like Finest switched a player, unless he changed his name. It's like they switched out the Queen of Pain. Yeah, it looks like they switched out their Queen of Pain.
You suggest players. Or no? Is it another guy playing?
Yeah, the Queen of Pain, I think, is a different player. Or the person who played Queen of Pain isn't playing in this game. And Dragon Knight, again, banned. It's interesting, Dragon Knight banned out again. Maybe that's
Yeah.
just a hero Finest played really well, and the same can be said for the IO. Just two heroes that are...
Yeah, same. I was wondering when in the first draft they went DK. I mean, I was like, maybe find this play a good DK,
That's probably some
but
kind of respect ban. Let's see, they've still
they're
got...
taking the reserve time.
They did this last game too. They spent a lot of time thinking about what they wanted. I mean, there's Oracle, Lone Druid. Some teams really like Enchantress. Outworld Devourer is still there. Some teams also really like the Chen. Gyrocopter's still in the pool. That's a pretty safe pick. And all three of the first picks last game too. Dazzle, Witch Doctor, Shaker still available. They played pretty well with their Shaker, and I think their Witch Doctor also did really well. So they could just go back to that. But they actually go with Visage. I think the hero is good, but I think it's interesting to see it picked up in the first phase. I wonder if that means they're going to do a tri-lane. I mean, Visage is a very strong tri-laner, but there's a strong laner. Soul Assumption does so much damage. It'll depend on what they pick to go with it. Because there's a few ways they could play that hero, and it does, I think, fall into the mid-game push comps. I mean, familiars do a ton of damage, and Ward's actually taking the Shaker away from Finest this time. Maybe they didn't want to spend a ban on it and instead grab it for themselves. Finest took up a huge chunk of their reserve time for that pick.
Yeah, I don't think opening with Visage is good, but let's see how it works for them.
They,
Shaker is good pick.
yeah,
So
Shaker was
opening.
good. The Visage, it's interesting. I mean, maybe they want to try to do Drow Visage or something, but that's something you usually see picked up in Phase 2.
Yeah.
But because now, if they want Drow Visage, Drow is probably going to be banned out by wards if it's not picked up as their next pick. And if it is, you just pick up some aggressive hero to go in on it. And Rubik also, it's strong, but it depends on what kind of spells there are to steal too. I mean, I guess you could take Soul Assumption. If you somehow get Familiars, that's huge, but it's almost impossible to steal Familiars.
Yeah.
And actually,
Slark.
Interesting first two picks from Finest. Although it does play well around like the lockdown of the Shaker and the Rubik.
I will ban Ancient Operation for on the Finest side because maybe they can go offline Shaker and then see the position 4 Rubik, position 5 AA.
Oh yeah, that'd be lots of kill potential, and it's also it's good against the Slark.
Yeah.
So the AA definitely a hero that Finest needs to be thinking about, because that'd be a really strong tri-lane, and not only that, it would make team fights very, very hard for Finest. Dazzle banned out.
I like the gyro ban.
Gyro would also have been a very good tri-lane. Do like Shaker Rubik, like 5 Rubik, 4 Shaker, lots of kill potential. Just lift them into the Rocket Barrage and fissure them in.
I'm banning a Dazzle. Banning heals.
So probably just don't want to deal with like, and they just probably don't want to deal with the rotations. Maybe they want to get aggressive early. I mean, with Shaker and Rubik, it's definitely possible. Because if Dazzle rotates and just pops a grave, if you're, it could cost you the kill. So maybe they just think about that. Don't want to deal with the weave either. I mean, Shaker and Rubik are already pretty squishy heroes. And actually, Doom and Zeus. I think wards should go with the AA, but instantly pick up a Juggernaut. Juggernaut has kind of risen in popularity a bit lately. It's one of those heroes that just... and actually, if they run a tri-lane and fissure block someone into a Blade Fury, that's a lot of damage. Vengeful Spirit, also very strong this patch, and this gives Finest a lot of kill potential. Both teams have a ton of kill potential.
Elder Titan.
Elder Titan, that's interesting. I mean, natural orders...
I haven't seen Elder Titan in a long time.
Natural
just in some 5K games, but not really. I'm surprised with Elder Titan, for real. It's an old meta hero.
Yeah, he's basically fallen off the face of the earth. I mean, the sleep is good. I mean, I guess they could set up the Echo Slam with the sleep. The natural order takes away tankiness from some of these heroes, but they're not naturally tanky heroes anyway. Besides Slark Revenge.
Yeah. You usually pick Elder Titan when they get like 3 or 2 strength hero. So you can just blow all the percentage XP.
Finest have a really aggressive draft. I mean, these 4 heroes have a lot of kill potential. I wonder if they're going to tri-lane this, or maybe do aggro dual lanes, but I'd much rather see the tri-lane.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Doom and Zeus being banned is also very interesting, I felt like. I mean, Doom is pretty good against Slark. Zeus also pretty good against Slark. Spam the ult, keep eyes on him, prevent him from jumping you with the Shadow Blade or something. And I've actually, in all the 80-12 games I've cast, I've seen Spectre pretty much banned last every single game. And I mean, she's strong. And if the game goes late, she basically wins on her own, and you can do the bad man build. I think the Amber Sphere was actually a good ban. But, yeah, there's the OD. Ember, when Elder Titan, taking away all of their armor, Ember would have been very strong. He would have hit very, very hard. But they get the OD instead, and similar story. I mean, OD does pure damage, but his ult is going to hit really hard. It's going to be interesting to see how this Elder Titan gets played and like what kind of impact it really has.
10 seconds remaining.
We haven't seen this hero in such a long time, but
5
it is
seconds
possible
remaining.
that it'll have a really big impact. And yeah, Finest round out. It's another. It adds more control and more damage, and it's another hero that comes on pretty early, so they can be very aggressive. I think Finest have just drafted this super aggressive lineup, and I would like to see them do a tri-lane. Visage, Slark, Venge, just get tons and tons of kills, or maybe even do like Clockwork, Visage, Venge. Could also work if they're not worried about the Slark dying in the off lane, and I don't think he should if he's against Elder Titan. But so on both these teams, it's gonna be interesting to see how it goes out. I think Wards have good lanes, but Finest also have good lanes, and I think Wind Ranger should be fine mid lane against the OD. So they're gonna smoke up again. Just gonna start Grave Triller's Soul Assumption. So it's like we're gonna have a level 1 fight. The smoke will probably be popped by the Juggernaut, who can just spin to
30
safety.
seconds of battle.
Trying to go around so they can catch him, but Juggernaut gonna be hard to kill. He wants to go in though. Fissured and blocking off the Wind Ranger, but Slark actually catches on the leech at the very end. Magic Missile, and that could be first blood, but now that the clock gets lifted away, they might not be able to. He gets zapped, and yes, does finally die, and Cogs is ready, but they won't be able to find the additional kill. But Wind Ranger and OD claiming the bounty runes, so this mid lane will be pretty even. So what do you have on Courier? Oh, a Salve. This mid, I think, should be fine for the Wind Ranger. I mean, she just wants to trade with right clicks and can wind run away from Arcane Orb harass. So I think she'll be okay in her lane. And now that things have calmed down, I'm going to introduce the team. So on Finest, Tans, who was Earthshaker last game, playing the Clockwork. KJ, who was the Abaddon on the Wind Ranger. Mars, who is a new player, I believe, on the Vengeful Spirit. Reborn, who is Witch Doctor on Visage. And I believe that's everyone. On that, nope, that's not true. Bidman playing the Slark. And now on the side of Wards, we have Noided, who is being harassed up now by the enemy supports, but should not have anything to worry about. Playing Elder Titan. And B-Donk on the Outworld. And actually, as I go bot, we have Frankie Crisp, who's playing... Frankie Crisp playing Rubik, actually finding the kill on the Clockwork, and Gorg's playing Earthshaker. So Franz, who was the Phantom Lancer, going to have a very good start. Clockwork already having died once, so this lane, very, very scary to play up against. And this has been blocked at least, but they may find it. They have a sentry, and they do find it. So, unfortunate for the Clockwork, who is at least level 2, but Juggernaut hitting level 3. See KJ getting harassed up pretty bad. Might have called that wrong. Guess Windrun's cooldown is extremely long, but soon B-Donk won't have that much mana available for his Arcane Orb, and Fissure to try to kill that Wind Ranger, but she probably got pushed onto the wrong side. Mango was brought to the Visage. Very interesting. Wonder if they are going to tri-lane. Yeah, it looks like they are. Vengeful Spirit farming up the jungle, pulling. Yeah, KJ having a very hard time, and Shaker sitting in mid trying to find an opportunity to get a kill, but she does have Windrun ready. Tans looks okay for now. The enemy supports have rotated out, so he is safe for the time being.
I feel like they should let Juggernaut 1v1 the Clover and go aggro try with Thunder Titan when he gets like low 4.
Yeah,
They need to shut
because
down Slark early.
yeah,
If not, it's going to be a trouble. Because then he gets Shadow Blade or Blink Dagger or Kit and start blinking on the OD, and it's hard for him.
looks like KJ might go down, but Windrun just able to get away. So yeah, this Shaker is not letting up the mid lane, and I think this is probably a decent choice. But yeah, I agree. This Juggernaut does not need any help, especially after Clock has already died once.
Dire's top tower is
And now actually Finest rotating one of their supports into the mid lane, but Wind Ranger probably shouldn't go for
Because
it.
Juggernaut will get better with levels, and this won't help at all. Roy needs to move from this lane. Clockwork's taking runes. The Rubik should be there taking the rune.
Yeah,
And Slark is pretty much free farming.
he's the most CS. Juggernaut right behind him though. Although Slark is probably getting the better deal in levels, just barely. No, he's got his Venge sitting behind him, but I feel like if they're gonna have Venge up here, they need to make plays on the other Titan. So maybe bring the Visage up. Otherwise, just move the Venge and the Visage around the map and try to find a kill on like the OD, because that's a pretty aggressive. That's a really good aggressive support duo. Clock actually almost dying, but Rubik dies to the creeps. Wow, that was a really good shackle shot at bot
Wow,
lane. France
shackle.
might go down, but just barely misses her power shot, and Jugs will survive. But very good shackle, unfortunately not able to find anything. But Rubik does go down. And yeah, Slark having a lane all to himself. Vengeful Spirit trying to farm up these creeps so she can find some levels, but yeah, Juggernaut farming really nicely as well. But if the Slark gets a Shadow Blade or Blink Dagger, he can just get so aggressive early. Good. Good banish, but maybe he gets sniped anyway. No, he went back to his lane, so. So far mid lane, Wind Ranger is a little bit behind in CS, but it shouldn't be too serious.
extra kill.
Rubik snags a bounty rune. Yeah, Juggernaut almost level 6. Slark still has about 200 XP to go. I feel like this Venge and Rubik are both making the same mistake. I think they should both be rotating.
Is under attack.
Slark probably won't have any problems with this Elder Titan. Unless they bring an aggro try. And one of the benefits of doing the aggro try is you force the other support duo to stay, so that they can't rotate. Wind Ranger in trouble. The Fissure is right there for the setup, and she is blocked in now. Shackle might try to find that kill, but Rubik does finally rotate out. The Wind Run's ready. She's getting blocked up though. She may go down, but does actually snipe the OD. Got a little ahead of himself, and now pays the price. And Wind Ranger might just be able to walk away from this, but it's like a TP from the Rubik. He will be safe, and so Slark should be level 6 now. Juggernaut also level 6. Juggernaut, yeah, both Slark and Jugs are getting basically free lanes, and Venge trying to go in, but Slark not really in position, almost just harassing with her magic missile.
Start going for a Midas. Once again. He won Midas and Plinks. It's being super greedy, I guess. They have too much early potential to set ganks, but he decides to go for Midas.
Yeah,
I know
mean,
that
it's it's a quick-ish Midas, but at the same time, it feels like going the Shadow Blade would have been the superior choice. Getting that fast,
Yeah.
just running around the map, killing off like the Rubik, the squishy Rubik, and like the Earthshaker even.
It feels like they should be killing more the Elder Titan. I think 0 deaths right now.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like this Elder Titan has gotten way more out of his lane than he should have. Either leave the either rotate both Venge and Visage and try to find kills like the Visage just did mid. And I believe that was probably Clock does not have his ult, does not have mana for his ult, but it's a pretty big kill.
They're just catching so much. They're focusing on ganking the mid laner. Just struggling to make OD just
and yeah, this
completely shut down.
Die very quickly. And Slark actually found what I believe was a solo kill on Elder Titan.
Yeah.
So lanes are looking really bad for wards. I mean, their Juggernaut is free farming, so they have that at least. But the Slark is just
That's
going to
threats.
slowly pull ahead of him, thanks to the Midas. And it shouldn't be long before he actually does get the Shadow Blade anyways.
I think you should go for Blink Dagger.
Yeah. If he... Yeah, actually the Blink seems like it would be very good. I mean, the Shaker and Rubik will die pretty much instantly if he Blink jumps them. Shooting Clockwork back bot lane. OD got the regen rune, but he's almost got his treads and he's going to go for the 4-staff, but Visage needs to be careful with his birds. He really doesn't want to lose them. Trying to lock this guy down. Shackle does
The
not
Beatman
latch.
trying hard and going. They're gonna kill the Beatman. No. The ult.
He's just barely able to get
Start
away.
control.
Slark might go down here. The sleep comes out and he does actually get caught. He's not able to leap away. But
That's a
Willie
greedy.
killed very close, but he did get a little ahead of himself that time. Unfortunately, after all they invested mid, weren't able to find the kill on the Outworld. So Slark, I think the way he built, he needs to just not... He can't afford to die. He
Yeah,
wants to
he should be
snowball.
just free farming, going on jungle and farming more and more. If he gets huge.
And he went in here without vision or probably even tried to tower dive. I was watching it so I didn't see all of it, but good defensive banish, and now Omni Slash does a little bit of damage. No mana for spin though, but now Wind Ranger just gets chunked away. And OD activated regen, Clock Hook misses, just that's really unfortunate. And now Finest should probably try to back off. It looks pretty bad for them, although Badonk might be in trouble. He gets blasted down by the Visage, tons of damage, but these familiars are going to get fed up. And now Tans goes down as well. And they lost a familiar too, so actually good trade for wards. Got about 800 gold for that. And let's see, does Visage have resummon available? No, he does not. So they're going to only have the one bird for a minute. And that's bad, to only have the one bird. I think Finest should probably look to do Roche. Like, get a medallion on Venge, and then just go Roshan. Get, like, build more of a lead, get it on your Slark, maybe even Wind Ranger. The gold advantage will help. And Visage Bird might be in trouble, might get farmed up again. He needs to move that bird. And does manage to drop it before it feeds, but it might still go down anyway. Should be able to safely get it to get it away though, but really can't afford to lose that bird. It's his last one for another 30 seconds. Sleep on 2, and now the Elder Titan Earth Splitter coming down the mid. They are fissured, both caught, and looking really bad for them. Reborn definitely going to go down at least, and Mars should be able to walk away to safety. Visage Bird stunning 2, but and Wind Ranger juking to sleep. Trying trying to, nope, actually trying to shoot her power shot away, but maybe just creating space. She's hasted up and going to pick off the Elder Titan.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Slark gets the last one on the tower, has 1,600 gold. Omnislash not quite ready. Slark has his ult, might try to find a kill. Yeah, and he's definitely going to kill off
I
this
tried to get a
Rubik,
Rubik.
but he might just die.
He might die here.
He's probably going to die to the Omnislash unless he's able to get away.
I see him. Omnislash coming.
Yeah, they had the vision thanks to the sword, and he just gets cut away. So probably not really worth it. I mean, Juggernaut got 650 gold for that almost. Is closing in on his battle free, but in the mid lane, while that's going on, it looks like OD might be in trouble. But rotations now. He's banished himself up. Soul Assumption ready. Hookshot catches him, but Echo Slam to kill off the clock, who was already pretty low when he went in. And now Windranger might be in trouble. Visage Birds don't have the stun up, and it's just gonna have to walk away. But Windranger also able to get away, though.
Visage full.
Oh, actually, Visage looks like he's in trouble. The Fissure's coming up soon. 2 seconds, 1 second, and this is going to be a very dead Visage.
Fisher.
And wow,
Oh, stole
actually,
birds.
He stole birds. That's not
Someone you were
good.
talking about. It's so hard to steal it, man. Looks like he didn't actually cast any spells.
Perhaps
Not even to run faster with a Q.
he had just that was on cooldown for 40 seconds. He hadn't cast anything for 40. I mean, not dropping a Soul Assumption, not dropping a Grave Chill, and now Rubik with the birds. That's huge for them. I mean, they can push, they can find way more kills, have even more lockdown for these enemy heroes, and now it's like the Rubik's trying to kill the Visage Birds with his own birds. What is this? What's happening? Aetherland's on Elder Titan. Really long range cat. Earth Splitter goes really far now, and Astral Spirit also pretty long cast range, so able to sleep from further away, able to hit from Earth Splitter. Earth Splitter actually does a pretty large amount of damage. I mean, if it can hit though, which is the problem. They might have the tools to make sure that it connects though. I mean, a sleep into like a fissure, they can do it, and someone's banished up here. It looks like the Shaker, defensive banish, Vengeful Spirit caught in the middle of these guys, and not quite enough damage from Soul Assumption. Good sleep. Prevents the chase. Hook out though, and is Clockwork really going to be able to make it? He has no damage, but the power shot from far away catching out the OD, but Vengeful Spirit going to die, and Clockwork may join her soon, and actually looks like Windranger's in trouble as well. Triple kill for this Rubik.
Starts coming with a Shadow Blade.
Slark on the way now.
It's gonna die.
Catch the...
No.
If he gets
He's gonna get the Shaker.
but Windranger probably also going to go down.
Windranger's
The Bird's
probably
ready.
gonna die.
Actually able to get away from the birds for the time being. Slark now running up top. That fight slightly in favor of wards. XP was only like 35 difference. So that fight was pretty even. And now I think what Finest should do is they have the Venge has 2 points in Wave of Terror and she has Medallion. Go with Visage and take Roche, and actually Rubik just got brought down for a lot of gold from the Slark. But Juggernaut finishing up a Battle Fury. So now
It feels like they are not having a good synchronization team, because Zerg was farming here when they're all fighting.
But then his team went to take a fight anyways, even though
Yeah.
he was there. And it's not like they don't really have the heroes to do that either. I mean, wards probably could with like a good Shaker OD. Like if it were Shaker OD and like Elder Titan and Rubik, they could probably fight 4v5 if they land their spells. But Finest need to be together and are a very single target team. Or at least very pick-off oriented. I think so they should get smokes and just roam. And Visage got birds again!
Birds again.
Oh my god! And this Venge is in serious trouble. Yeah, Venge is going to die. Stuns
Venge
on
is
the OD, but she does get Wave of Terror on 3. Donk stunned up. Good Shackle, but no follow-up's gonna be there, and all that's going on. Juggernaut kills off the Clockwork in a 1v1. Probably used Omni Slash. Yeah, he used Omni for it. Things are starting to look really, like, Finest playing really messy. The Visage especially. And unfortunately not going to find the kill with that Fissure, but good attempts. And I feel like this Visage, Birds is a spell that just shouldn't ever really get stolen. And good defensive self-banish, and Slark now going to go down very quickly. And now Reborn also probably going to go down. Attempted to swap safety, but Vengeful Spirit going to lose her own life for it. And with the Birds chasing him, Reborn might not even live. Yeah, and just picked off by the Elder Titan. So things just falling apart a little bit for Finest, who had a 3k gold lead and a 5k at one point, maybe, or 4k at one point, slowly going away from them. And I think the nature of their draft is they want to be ahead. Like, Slark is a hero that doesn't play that well from behind and can dominate when he's really ahead of you. But on the net worth, he's not that far. I mean, he's really far ahead of the OD. But behind the Juggernaut, who will probably outscale him anyway. As the Courier bringing him something.
Juggernaut is getting huge right now.
He's about 500 gold ahead of the Slark, and 4k or 3k ahead of the Windranger. But Slark is 4k ahead of the OD, who's also having a pretty rough game. He's close to his 4th staff though, which will help him. I cannot believe this Rubik just keeps getting birds. One of these teams should take Roche, and I mean, now that Wards have the birds, they can take Roche just about as quickly as Finest. So both teams, and I mean, Juggernaut will kill Roche very quickly too. So I think both teams could look to Roshan, get an advantage, and just try to like snowball off of that, and just push in for a win. Omni Slash and Clockwork going to die, so things just looking pretty bad for Finest right now. I mean, their Windranger's not doing bad, but she's actually very close to her Ags, so that's good. But Slark has a Midas and is not ahead of
Went from behind.
Sleep on the Windranger.
That's a good setup.
This is looking really bad. The OD good
Birds.
swap. But
Good
now,
swap, but
it might not be enough. It looks like they're going to lose all these heroes anyway. Windranger has no Wind Run, slept up, and just dies. This Juggernaut is doing so much damage, and gonna have S and Y now. He can afford the S and Y. So, finish up and Slark trying to cut the wave, but it's not gonna matter. You know, Slark needs to be careful. I mean, he wants a pick off, but there's so much damage on the side of Wards. The Slark might just kill himself going in. He has no teammates there, but maybe he will find the Shaker. Trying to get the Shaker. Not able to get the leash though, and now Slark looks like he's in trouble. So that goes slam for Slark and the OD ult. Maybe a little bit of overkill, but maybe not. If he ulted and got away, it could have been.
oh, it was okay to ult. It was he wasn't into
Shadow Dance.
Shadow Dance and
Yeah, so
run
I think
away.
that was good. I mean, getting the and now
That was
Visage is
worth.
feeding off his birds. He needs to be careful. Rubik finally does not have birds, so hopefully they don't get stolen again. Oh, okay. Whew. That time he gets the Soul Assumption. Hookshot in, but is there any follow-up? Slark is dead. This is probably not the fight that Finest want. Good banish to defend his teammate, but this OD just going to town. And Juggernaut as well, also doing tons of damage. The maxed out spin, and just going to lose so many heroes so quickly. The Shackle unfortunately doesn't last anything. 4-staff forward, and just Juggernaut just dominating the game.
There was not letting Juggernauts. I mean, they should have won, like, try aggro and Juggernaut. They keep focusing on mid, and they made errors going on mid.
I feel
and
like,
lost in team fights there.
yeah, I feel like.
And then Slark going. I mean, Slark from behind is not going to do much. At this point with the Midas, you just have to farm. And the team has to sit back and try to do something. There's Axe now for Windrunner.
But I don't know. I mean, it's not like it's super late. It's a decently timed Ags. It's just
Yeah.
will it be enough? This Juggernaut is massive, and Slark does get a pick off, but he's gonna get cut off by the Juggernaut. He has no Shadow Dance or Shadow Blade, and now just gets smacked in the face by the OD. It's not worth it.
There's a Bale now on Elder type. Just amplifying the magic damage. Aether Lens and Bale.
This Elder Titan has actually been playing very well. His sleeps have been really good, setting up for lots of kills for his team. And I mean, this Rubik, Frankie Crisp played also really well, stealing the Visage Birds twice. But I feel like that it's a good play from him, but also probably a bit of a misplay from Reborn. I mean, if it was right after the cast and he didn't have mana to do anything, I would understand it a little bit, like in the midst of a team fight. But the birds always seem to be stolen from at like really weird times.
Yeah.
And now Finest have lost control of their own jungle. Juggernaut really wants to find some kills. Looks like he's gonna go Butterfly next. Let me see as the Eagle Song. I think I like that. Lots of like the Visage Birds are right click, the Wind Ginger is right click, and the Slark is right click. So probably not a bad choice. Shackle Shot stolen and actually latches, so Wind Ranger might be in trouble. She's lifted, but birds are there to help. Swap back defensively, and Rubik going to Revenge, going to sacrifice her own life, but good shackle, banish, and
Defensive
Revenge
vanish.
is able to walk away from this. So both teams just kind of glancing at each other and backing off. Rubik
Start
does have
playing it the right way. Split pushing and farming.
Mhm.
He should be now. Sit back and farm. Keep going.
SNY
If I don't farm the jar or not.
Juggernaut is 5k gold ahead of Slark, and over 10k
Yeah.
gold, almost 10k gold ahead of Wind Ranger. I feel like they just Finest need to just avoid fights. Like maybe smoke up, get pickoffs inside their own jungle, or like maybe pick off a support that comes to a ward somewhere, and yeah, Juggernaut actually killing Slark, so things looking really bad, and I think Jugs can finish his Butterfly. So he will not be dying anytime soon in these fights. Finest, all of their damage is basically right click.
Yeah.
So looking very grim, and it actually looks like wards are going for the Roshan. And it's another one of those situations where it's up to wards to throw. Like the beginning of last game went much the same way. Wards very, very far ahead and unable.
Now they're very far ahead.
They had a similar gold lead last game though and threw it away, but it feels like wards are playing a little bit more careful this time. Not to mention okay, so there's the hook. Are they going to be able to steal the Aegis? No, they're not. A valiant attempt, good banish, and Clockwork just going to die in the pit. It was a good attempt, but now they have no clock for 40 seconds. So that T2 bot's going to die. I don't know if they'll get high ground, but Rubik actually
There's
finished.
Stalker now on Rubik.
OD sitting on top of 3k gold. Juggernaut has Butterfly on the way.
Naya's bottom tower has fallen.
I'm gonna try higher ground now with Aegis. Should be a pretty easy tower.
They can probably get the let's see, Clock Hook will be off cooldown when he respawns. They should be careful going off the high ground here. They could still lose heroes, but they do have the Aegis, and the way they're doing this, I think is the correct way. And Slark trying to get a pick off in the back, but just let the Juggernaut sit up front and try to push, while your team just hangs back. Because then Aegis goes down, and Omni Slash does not find the kill on Reborn. He is swapped back. I don't know about that swap. Hook forward, Echo Slam, really big, tons of damage, and now Vengeful Spirit getting very low, but
No, they need to get back.
They need to get out of here, I think. Omni Slash is down. Shackle up, not able to find anything. Slark going to kill off the OD as well. Wards need to be careful. Slark jumps back and cancels.
Yeah, okay, get back now. Wards needs to get back right now.
Oh,
That's
TP
not the way you
canceled.
TP. It's gonna die now.
Now, yeah, the Slark is going to pick him off. If not the Slark, the Wind
Wow.
Ranger.
No, what is Jarna doing there?
Yeah,
He's
Juggernaut
dead.
should not have gone back. He should have just let his teammate die. I mean,
Yeah.
good swap back, and now Juggernaut
swap
dies
back.
again. So Wards once again getting aggressive, getting really far ahead of themselves, and
Again.
it was a 4K gold swing this time. So it's not as drastic as last time, but it's still pretty substantial.
Yeah.
Because now Slark is sitting on 3K, Wind Ranger on 3K. Clock just bought a Lotus Orb. Venge is going to have Solar Crest soon if she wants it.
I don't really think Lotus Orb is an item.
Yeah, I feel like it's
They
the
don't
same
really have
for,
too much point targets. It's only Rubik.
what, Lift and OD Banish.
Rubik, OD
Not
Vanish.
familiar. Wow, that's just crazy. Rubik is getting familiar so often. Wind Ranger catching up now and is ahead of the OD finally for the first time this game, I think. Juggernaut 4K ahead of the Slark and 8K ahead of the Wind Ranger, so still a huge lead for him, but that death there was very, very unnecessary. Wind Ranger actually going a Desolator. I mean, she'll kill towers fast, and heroes too, for that matter, especially since she's so close to level 16. Vengeful Spirit's gonna be in trouble. The enemy team is smoked up, but I don't know if Venge is the hero you want to catch with your smoke. I feel like they wanted something more, but it's still a decent pick. Rubik stole Wave of Terror, not terrible. I wonder if we should have just kept birds, though.
I think Slark needs a Basher Moonshort.
Yeah, at least he needs to get the Basher very, very soon. Like that item is going to help them a lot. Yeah, the Goldgraph swinging right back down.
No, actually, he needs NKB, not Basher.
Oh yeah, because he has to deal with the Juggernaut. Forcing the CPs back, so this is the right play from the Slark, I think. Shadow Bladed up, looking for his way out, and probably just going to TP to safety. So I think this is the right way to do it. If you're this Slark, just don't fight and like split push, and now like TP to safety. Force rotations, stop the enemy, stop wards from getting any lead, and Slark actually finishing a BKB, which probably will also help.
Yeah.
His damage will be, he's been hitting pretty hard already, so maybe it won't be so bad, but it's going to be hard to kill this Juggernaut if wards find the right fight. I think Clock probably, let's see, how much is a Lotus Orb? He probably could have afforded a... Yeah, he could have gone an Ags instead of the Lotus, and I think that might have been better. Or like a Blade Mail or something, Force Staff. Juggernaut has a level advantage over most of these heroes and a really large net worth lead. And OD just doesn't feel like he's having a great game. And this BKB won't help him that much against the Wind Ranger. He'll just right click him to death anyway. So Finest just trying to split up the map, but Kidman needs to be careful. Is he going to be picking up the Rubik very quickly, but a good defensive banish to save him. So now Bidman's the one in trouble. He does Shadow Dance, trying to get out of here. Then actually just going right back in to find another kill, but now he might just go down, and yeah. 2 with that Omni Slash, so
There's no
not
buyback
the
on
right
Slark.
trade. No buyback on Slark, and this is going to be... They're probably... It's not going to take... Oh, buyback just now coming
There's
up.
buyback now on Slark. Unless they took the tower bottom.
So wards might want to be careful. They're going to pick off Reborn, but Slark has buyback. Message Birds, one of them dead, one in trouble. So it looks like a hook in the back catching one hero. Or no, a creep. Actually, good Echo Slam. Huge, the OD ult did some good damage, but now Bidman in trouble without buyback. He's stealthed up and dies after the banish pops. So there's a Slark dead for 90 seconds and could even possibly.
Okay, this shouldn't be GG. They could just push and.
It's not going to take them long to figure out that there's no buyback on Venge, and Visage won't have birds when he comes up. So they're going to lose. Yeah, this is probably GG. I mean, Slark's dead for over a minute. They can try to slow it down, but now Wind Ranger's going to just get blown up. Lotus Orb, so there's 2 banishes, but yeah, Wind Ranger's still going to die very quickly. This Juggernaut's just too big. He's 15-1. The only time he died, which was a little, probably an avoidable death, but Ward's just in control of this game right now. Have a 15,000 gold lead.
Again, I think it's Finest played well, but they went too greedy and they went too aggressive on mid, and they will always split. They were not team fighting. It's like Wards having like 5 manning, and they always have like 2 split pushing, and then entering the fights 1v1 after they get wiped, free man. It's always Slark going after everyone and die and cause the game, because I think Slark going for Midas is not good in this game. He
No,
could
he needed
easily
snowball,
just
yeah.
farm Russia Shadow it and go full snowball.
Because the way usually you get Midas on heroes like Slark if you want to try to secure your endgame, but there was no reason to do that. And even if you did go late, I really think Wards have the better late game. Maybe. I mean, Visage is really good and Venge is pretty good, but OD, the Elder Titan aura becomes really powerful as the game goes on, and even the Juggernaut very strong. So it would have been a hard game. But I feel like Finest just needed to snowball, and Slark getting that Midas as his first item slowed that down. It slowed him down. He wasn't able to suddenly find a ton of kills with a quick Shadow Blade, and that really hurt Finest.
Yeah.
And I agree, they should have probably aggro tried against the Jugs. I think both teams could have aggro tried. And both teams could have left their, and I mean, Wards ended up eventually doing it, could have left their carry alone. Not a huge problem in, oh, Rubik doing a good job blocking the hook and stealing hookshot for himself, for that matter. Hooking back to his team. Did they get stuck? Oh, the fissure, okay. Slark claiming a top tower, so Finest didn't lose anyone, but now this is going to be Megas. Slark going back to defend, does not have enough damage, is almost 10k. Juggernaut has a 13k net worth lead on the Wind Ranger, and a 9k net worth lead on the Slark. Almost 10k.
It's a 20k lead for team. 20k gold lead for Wards.
Just
For
looks pretty bad for. Like, I think it's over for Finest.
it's
This
They
Juggernaut
just-
has so many items.
it's just a massive throw. If they throw one team fight, I think they can come back.
Last game was
But-
the same story too. I mean, they could throw. I mean, Wards threw a huge gold lead in a couple minutes last game, but it looks like it's way harder for them to do that this game.
Yeah. You will have now the Aghanims and Elder Titan, BKB, LD, about to have a Scythe. Pretty defensive items in Ruby, having Glimmer Cape, 4 staffs. I don't think they can throw this, to be honest.
Another thing that helped with the throw last game, I think, is the PL did not feel impactful. And this OD, although he's not nearly as big as, say, the Juggernaut is, he still hits really, really hard. So, last game it felt like, for a lot of it, most of it was on the shoulders of the Ember Spirit to do well, and when Ember Spirit threw, it just kind of like lost them the game. But this game, it feels like Juggernaut could die in a fight, but and it's going to take forever for him to actually go down. All the time it takes for them to kill the Juggernaut is time the OD is just right-clicking them, and he's hitting harder and harder every second. He's going to be doing more and more damage, and eventually his ult will just hit like for a freakishly large amount.
Yeah.
There's no this Rubik playing very, very well, stealing all of the right spells, has hookshot in 30 seconds, stole Vicious Birds 3 times.
Yeah, it was 3 times, and it's
That's just
very difficult spell to steal,
Mhm.
but still managed to get it.
very well played from this Rubik so far.
Yeah.
That's Frankie Chris playing extremely well, and I mean, he didn't play extraordinarily well in the Spirit Breaker last game, it felt like, but he has played very, very well in this Rubik, stealing a ton of good spells. The Visage Birds, now the Clock Hook.
I think Radiant should 5-man smoke and go this way, like all the way from bot, and just try to get a pick off.
I think they can probably just... I think they need to probably maybe 5... it's kind of dangerous to 5-man up there.
Elder Titan maybe get a Blats.
I think
So-
someone needs a Vlad's on wards. Just
Yeah.
some... That item is so good at
To
the late
push
game.
towers.
Yeah. Like, almost every team should have one at some point. And OD actually finishing up a Scythe, so things even harder now for Finest. Because Wind Ranger does not have a BKB. If she gets Scythed up, she's just going to die, and
Stark
Elder Titan might get picked off.
touching the air shaker. He's
And
dead.
at the same time, Elder Titan in trouble. Yeah, Elder Titan does die, so both 2 heroes going down for wards, so gonna slow down the push a little bit.
I don't think the BKB was worth like for Stark. Like he used a 9-second BKB for air shaker. He was pretty low.
So Juggernaut can
Well-
sell his ring and get what? There's maybe Manta if he felt like it, but he could go for more damage. Like, there's a lot of... I mean... Oh, Juggernaut will probably go Scotty. His next item.
Yeah.
They don't need the MKB because this Wind Ranger is just dead. Oh, swap to safety. Actually going to get out with that swap, so well played from Mars, but let's see how it's going to end up. And Visage needs to cast something. Hopefully Rubik doesn't steal birds again. Rubik still has hookshot too. With Vision right here, Rubik might look to hook someone. I think now that Wards has everyone up, they should just smoke and go top. Find someone. Find one pick-off and then win the game with that one pick-off. Because they're so far ahead. But they've plateaued. They're about 19, 18k gold lead. So a little bit less than it was, but by no means a small number.
You need to smoke into a Slark.
Now Slug is going to pick off the Elder Titan. He needs to sleep.
He's
maybe
get-
TP out.
He
Oh,
just non-stop getting peak offs on top lane. He just split pushing, killing them non-stop, and then
Good jump to block.
Backing.
Oh, okay. Not able to find him. Yeah, and it's just he's creating so much space for his team. I mean, Roshan's not responding for a very long time. So Warren should probably just try to 5-man. I don't think
Slark going for a Lincoln Sphere.
he basically has it complete. I think it's on the way, or it's going to the secret shop to get the ultimate orb.
Yeah, but he shouldn't buy.
He should get a
He won
fast
for
orb.
5 if he dies. Still has a cooldown 20 seconds, but I don't think he should buy right now. He used the ult for no reason.
Maybe he thought that there's enemy heroes nearby, and Clockwork getting picked off over here by Juggernaut, so if they kill Slark again, it's over. Although Elder Titan is dead, I think the clock being dead is a little bit more significant, because now Finest have a hard time in starting fights. Slark kind of catching up to the Juggernaut, who is still really far ahead.
Roche will be in like 3 minutes, 5. I think it's like 3.
Clock down for 19 seconds though. They might try to get high ground here, but is the Elder Titan with them? No. I think they need, but Slark, they unfortunately aren't able to catch him. Just barely walks out of the ward vision.
Slark.
Running away creating so much. This Slark is creating so much space.
Double damage.
DD on the Slark now, but they do see him, so he needs to be very careful.
Yeah. Oh no.
It's going bottom, and
Feels like they can just end the game.
I think wards
They're
are
just running in circles and letting Stark create space for the other team to
They need to
literally form.
yeah, this Slark is forcing them back, but I think if they just group up and push into a tower, they force the Slark back.
Yeah.
Because without Slark, they're just gonna lose all their heroes.
Stark has a DD.
DD's wearing out. And other Titan's there, and Visage needs to be careful not to get his birds stolen again. He stole birds. Oh, no, never mind, Grave Chill. Good job, he's protecting his spells, so... Grave Chill's still a pretty good spell. The Juggernaut finally just forcing up high ground, spinning, and should probably just be attacking the... while he's spinning, he should be using this to attack the racks, because while he's magic immune. No fortification ready, so the shackle does latch on too, actually.
Wow, what a
so
shackle.
that's a really big shackle, and now OD might be in trouble, but doing tons
Wow,
of damage.
Lotus are doing the job.
Buyback from the Wind Ranger, and wards, Juggernaut getting low, needs to be careful. Huge Echo Slam!
I think Juggernaut.
That Echo Slam was absolutely massive, and now no buyback Wind Ranger, no
Massive
buyback Slark.
Echo
This is,
Slam.
man, that was a really huge Echo, and in fact, that Echo Slam from Gorgs might have just finally closed out the game for his team. It did so much damage. Like, let's see, the Echo Slam, yeah, he did more damage than anyone else on his team in that fight. Really well played. Fantastic Echo Slam, and wards not throwing this game and just taking control of it finally. Yeah, this Juggernaut just was so big. 789 GPM. I can't. That's massive and just ridiculous.
I thought Finest was gonna win.
Oh yeah, I think
I thought they were going to win like 2-0.
I felt like if they just got greedy with their draft, and I think they laned incorrectly. Like, pressure the Juggernaut more than the OD. And Slark should have just maybe rushed like his Shadow Blade instead of going for a Midas. He didn't need a Midas this game.
No, they needed to go Snowball early game.
Because, I mean, Wards had the way better team fight, way better, like, late game for sure. I mean, OD was hitting like a truck.
Yeah. Well, OD is pretty broken, I think. Yeah.
I think OD was undervalued by both these teams. I'm surprised he was the last pick. I think that hero is really good right now.
Yeah.
Just very surprising. I mean, Wards and Base, I think the drafts were actually pretty even. I think if Finest had played their drafts slightly better and had laned better and Slark had itemized a little bit differently,
I
it could have
actually think so. The Wards drafted a better team fight lineup. Really focusing on getting a cool setup on the Echo.
That's what it feels like the Elder Titan pick was for. Was just huge,
Yeah.
and I mean, he's 3-6 and 27, so he did very well setting up lots of kills and lots of fights for his team. The sleep just lasts so long, and the Echo Slam followed up by like a Sanity's Eclipse is just massive damage. So this Elder Titan, I mean, I was very surprised to see it, but they played it extremely well and pulled it off very nicely. So that was the series, and I mean, I might be casting tomorrow. I'm not quite sure yet, but it was a good series. Both teams winning one game. Wards, I feel like, could have 2-0'd it, and it actually really felt like Finest, who had a pretty good lead at the start of that last game, and had momentum. More importantly, they had lots of kills at the start, but just feels like both teams kind of maybe in their respective losses misplaying their draft a little bit, maybe itemizing a little bit poorly, but it was a good series and tied up 1-1, and this is I think week 3 of the 82L, and the points start getting pretty important because you always want to get the bye. If you win enough games, you get your bye, and you don't have to play for a week in the playoffs, and that advances you 1 week further without risking losing a series. So all of these teams really looking to find that, and I mean, that's all for tonight, but thanks everyone who tuned in. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you guys next time, and thank you for casting with me. It was really fun, and definitely a new experience.
Would you like to play ranked game or something?
I am going to go make dinner, or I would.
Oh, okay.
But maybe some other time, so if you're willing to play with like a 3.4k scrub,
yeah.
just carry me to higher party MMR.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, what do they say? Party MMR isn't real MMR?
Yeah, it's always what counts. Mine's like 3.9. No, 4.
So
4 party.
anyways, it was a really good time casting with you. You definitely know a fair bit more about this game than I do, and I really appreciate you stopping by.
Okay.
So,
Well, till next time.
And have a good night.
Thanks.
Alright, everyone who tuned in, I appreciate it so much, and leave me some feedback. I am trying really hard to get better at casting with co-casters, and it's something I certainly struggle with. I definitely tried to walk over him a lot of times, and I'm sorry for that, but thank you for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. It does mean a lot to me, and I will catch you guys next time.